And welcome back to American Agenda. A Florida sheriff issued a stern warning to protesters, telling them that he will deputize every lawful gun owner in his county in order to put a stop to any violent outbreaks there. Joining us now, Clay County, Florida. The no-nonsense sheriff there is Darryl Daniels. Sheriff, thank you for joining us, sir. Where in the state are you located, and what made you take this step?
Northeast Florida. We're just immediately south of Jacksonville, Florida. What prompted this was an individual who was planning a peaceful protest, which we all know is protected under the Constitution. My problem with this individual is that he reached out to some folks who are known instigators, those folks being the Dream Defenders, who have an anti-law enforcement rhetoric to their ideology. They're not welcome in Clay County because there's no such thing as a peaceful protest for them. They come with all of the drama and all of the nonsense that we're seeing across this country. And look, who has more skin in the game in an individual jurisdiction? And that's the folks who live there. So I would solicit those folks, and I have that in my back pocket, as a matter of fact, because of what's afforded me in state statute to be able to do that, and I will, if needed be.
So you're very serious about this, Sheriff. What sort of support have you gotten from in and around the community?
Well, I think we're about, if I was just throwing statistics out there, we're probably 90+ approval with going in that direction, and folks coming up saying, hey, I'll stand with you, Sheriff. Other folks not so much, but you know what? I'd love to see them on the day that their home or their business is compromised as a result of someone coming into this county, disrupting what we know as a peaceful way of living. And then those citizens who stood by or stand by with their sheriff keeps them out of harm's way. I guarantee you they'd have a different thought about the strategy of doing that.
Yeah, and what kind of folks have stepped up? I know you said a large number, but what kind of folks stepped up, and what kind of training do you think is necessary just to make sure something doesn't go wrong?
Well, I tell you, the folks that are stepping up, you have retired law enforcement, we have active military, reservists. We actually have a military base here in this jurisdiction. We've had retired law enforcement here, and we have individuals that are just concealed weapons carriers. One of the things afforded in state statute here in the state of Florida is this fact that in the event that there is a riot, I can solicit the input or assistance from any individual in the county to quell those rioters. And that comes with the ability of making special deputies. And they don't, by statute, don't have to be credentialed or trained. All we have to do is give them some very narrow and specific instructions on what their duties are to do. And that's it. That's it.
And even on a larger picture, Sheriff, you have the Second Amendment in the Constitution.
Of course, and one thing about taking oaths of office, and I am a sworn law enforcement officer. In fact, I took an oath to support, protect, and defend the Constitution, the entire Constitution. And while folks are exercising their First Amendment right, there is some language in that First Amendment that says peaceably. There's a difference, and I think a lot of people, when they hear the word protest, they think peaceable protest, but there's a difference between protesting and rioting. A riot is a felonious act in the state of Florida, and we'll treat people who riot just like felony violators.
Sheriff, thank you very much, sir. I think a lot of people are right on board with you and hope everything goes well. And Sheriff Daniels, thank you so much for joining us.